It's just me, James Melendez. So simplifying is complex, but I have 4 strategies to look at in terms of how to make your life less complex. So stay tuned. It is a strange statement to saying simplifying is complex. It's almost a paradox, but instead that paradox is quite true. And simplifying can be very complex. But I think the world we're in is a very complex world. And no matter how you think of things, things go from very simple to complex really rapidly. And pretty much everything we do in our lives is complex. And that's why we have work and jobs and so forth, is to really get through those complexities. But I have 4 strategies that I utilize to look at complexity. So I don't believe in a simple state. I believe that the simple state does exist in the very beginning, but it does change over time. That is, simple states are from the very beginning, and then they go complex right after that. But I think what you can get at, it's a really healthy thing, is to make things less complex. That's a really great state to be in. So number 1, you never get to simple or simplicity. So I just mentioned that. But I think that's a really great way of thinking about this, which is if you are a perfectionist, which I have been, a recovering perfectionist is what I like to say that I am, is I don't really go back to an ideal state, because guess what? That ideal state doesn't exist. Even if I knew what that ideal state was, it is probably very elusive and you can't get back to that anyway. And if you got there, you'd be like, am I here? You would never know. Number 2, measure the project you're working on. Select a project. So my project was looking at my home. I felt it was a very cluttered mess. So how do I get rid of some things that I don't need? And so I started to measure that. I wrote everything down. So it was 1,200 objects in about 2 years. And when I look at that, I just thought, wow, those are 1,200 objects. I've never looked back and said I shouldn't have given them away. At first I thought, how could I do away with this or this or this? We have reasons for not getting rid of things, right? One reason might be maybe that's an heirloom that a long lost relative gave to us, or maybe maybe a partner gave us something. But I think even say my state, I'm a single person, single guy, and I find my home to be just overly complex. That it just really needed to be, a little more manageable. Simple things were hard to find. That's kind of ridiculous. So finding keys or a wallet should not be hard. And yes, a few times it has been hard. And so I decided I'm just really going to do this. And I really am going to have the, mindset that, simplification can occur, but probably less complex is probably the more realistic way of being. So, you need a roadmap. So, you want to write these things down. So you have, you document what you're doing so you know what you're doing. That's number 2. Number 3 is that roadmap. What will it look like when you're done? So put time frames on that. So you want to measure what you're doing and meet those, milestone gates when you get there. Number 4, do it over time. There's no such thing as getting one of these, great ideas and doing it all in one weekend. Because guess what? It doesn't happen quite that way. Maybe things you've got to take to the thrift store, take something to the cleaners. You've got to order new product, new shelving. You've got to do so many things, and it cannot, believe me, it cannot be done in one weekend. But what you can do this is over time. And if you look at your progress notes, you feel a lot better. Wow, I made some progress. So when you finish your de-complexity exercise, as I like to call it, then you can look back and say, I did it all. I did what I set out to do. And then you can go on to the next project after that. So this is, again, just James Melendez, and so stay tuned for more. I hope these really help, and give your thoughts and questions down below. I'd like to know that, and because I think if I've had to go through this, and I felt I was very successful, I'd like to share that with you. And stay tuned for more. Thank you again for watching today. Salut.